we are live here on the Sportsbook Junkies podcast. We're your hosts, the Nick Stop and Nate. Nate, how you doing today?
Oh, not too bad. A little tired though. I went out hiking this afternoon, so nice weather, but tired.
That sounds like fun. I haven't been hiking in so long, probably since I was up at college. So it's been a good year, I'd say. But
that's not too bad.
Yeah, no. But if you want, since the game starts in about less than an hour, we can jump right into the Titans Steelers picks for tonight.
Yeah, so I'm gonna share my screen here if it'll let me pop up. Okay, so we should be good here. So I only got one in tonight, nothing too crazy, but it also is no sweat bet. So I've got Traylon Burks 40 yards receiving, DeAndre Hopkins 40 yards receiving, Deontay Johnson 40 yards receiving, Derrick Henry over 70 rushing, Jaylen Warren over 19.5, Hopkins 3 receptions, and I can never say his name, but over 23.5 rushing yards. I think we'll get some good passing tonight. This is probably the questionable one out of all the picks here, just because Burks has not been very good of late. I mean, he did come back from injury, but just kind of looking at his stats here. The last few games. Last week against the Falcons, 0 receptions for 0 yards. The previous game he was against the Browns, and that was 1 reception for 5 yards. But against the Chargers, he did pretty well. So I'll be excited to see how he does. I'm, again, taking a risk there, but I think we'll have some good passing out here.
Yeah, I'm kind of I kind of have like similar picks toward what you had. I always do this thing where I could just parlay a bunch of NBA same game parlays, but today I threw the Thursday night football in there. And what I have for the football game is I have Derrick Henry at an alternate rushing line of 50. I have D-Hop going for 25 receiving yards, Deontay Johnson going for 25 receiving yards, and then Traylon Burks for 25 receiving yards. If you did those four by themselves, not in the NBA parlay that I have, then you would be at plus 130. So I feel like that holds good value, especially in like a same game parlay X is what DraftKings calls it.
Here on just as an example here on FanDuel, they call it same game parlay plus. So like I've got this one right here, which I'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, no, I mean that your pick's not too bad there. I do think after last week, the Steelers, they had a pretty rough offensive performance. I think they get a nice little rebound here. And I still think that the Titans continue on with some good looking offense. Our buddy here, James, I mean, he's obviously on cloud 9 right now, but it was kind of amazing to see how Will Levis played last week. I mean, he looked like he'd been playing for a year or two.
Yeah, I feel like the Steelers defense is just going to terrorize him, though.
Yeah, I mean, you got some weapons on the defensive line to worry about, and some of the pass rushers there. But I still think it'll turn out pretty good here. I don't think I would have anything else, and right now, I also don't know that if I have anything for the weekend. I usually wait till Saturday night, Sunday to kind of think about that. But I did want to touch base here, and let me go down here. So it'll be easier to show it this way, but it is the final weekend this weekend for NASCAR for the 2023 championship season. I just wanted to point out some possible picks here. So let's start with the head-to-heads right here. Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney. Kyle Larson was pretty ridiculous this spring. Blaney did finish second, but as you can see here, Larson's got a decently favored to win the head-to-head and matchup here. But like me personally, I throw $10 on this. I take Blaney head to head plus 108. You can't really, unfortunately, here you can't parlay head-to-head matchups on FanDuel anymore for some reason. But the couple other ones here, like Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano, I'm gonna take Denny Hamlin in that one as well. So if you've got these similar matchups on Caesars, which I know you can do, or bet MGM, you can definitely for sure parlay these head-to-heads. Just a couple other parlays here. You got William Byron and Christopher Bell right here. I definitely feel comfortable taking Byron just because I think Hendrick cars are going to be a little bit faster this weekend at Phoenix comparatively to the Toyotas. And another final one I would take here. They got Kevin Harvick minus 164 and Tyler Reddick plus 120. I'm going to take Tyler Reddick in this one too. So I'm not sure what this would all exactly end up as. I'd have to do some math up ahead, but this is the head-to-head matchups here that I would pick. Just to speak a little bit to Tyler Reddick, Kevin Harvick won. Tyler Reddick is going to generally have a more consistent car. Stuart Haas, which Kevin Harvick races for, they've had a pretty rough year. I mean, Harvick's kind of dragged him to the top 10, but I don't really see his final Cup race ever, being any successful there. So just also looking here at some top 10 finishes, you get some good odds here. You got Chase Elliott at plus 150. I think that wouldn't be a bad way to throw like 10, $15 on. He probably won't be in the top half of the top 10, but 8th, 9th, 10th, that looks like a good chance there for him. Another real sleeper here that I want to point out, I would probably throw maybe a couple bucks here on Alex Bowman and finish top 10 plus 450. He's not had a good year himself, but you still got Hendrick Power, and they've been pretty successful late at Phoenix. So that would be my dark horse pick for a top 10 there. Again, it's really hard to pick. It's really hard to pick some winners pretty consistently. So I usually stay away from that. Yeah, and they don't really have any other NASCAR races. They do got, I think, okay. So you can outright bet. They got some Formula One, but I don't really ever touch that because it's pretty much the same person every week. Yeah. So that's what I got for racing. Let's talk some NBA here. I imagine you got some bets. You were telling me about this one that hit recently.
Yeah, so excuse me, I'm sorry, I was eating a little piece of food. So let me find it really quickly. All right, so I had a nice little 4-teamer the other day at plus 955. I threw 20 on it and made 211. That was the Pacers, the Pistons, the Timberwolves, and the Suns, and that was on October 28th. I doubled down on that and then put $50 on the Pacers, 76ers, and Suns to pay out 194. So now we're at about 400. I had another one, which was a 2-teamer, and that was the Pistons and Timberwolves. That hit that night too, which was 25 to pay out 63. And then we had the Pistons 76ers that same night, 25 to pay out 77. So now that's 520, I believe. And then that day I also ended up betting on like random soccer like I normally do.
Yeah. Is this the one where I called it like Yugoslavian table tennis or whatever?
Yeah. And then that was 3 of those, which was 10 to pay 166 and then 20 to pay 114.55. So I had myself a day the other day.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Let me see if I can find the one that I hit. Yeah, some of these are not going to look very good, but where is it at? It's not that one. Oh, I did hit this one last week. This one was pretty nice. For a while there. Like, so yeah, let me talk about this one here. So, Ball easily, pretty comfortable. Well, I don't want to say easily, comfortably last week against the Pistons, made over 7.5 assists. I thought this one was going to bust because it was going into the fourth. I believe Kate Cunningham had 3 assists and 4 fouls. Picked up a fifth one pretty quick, and I pretty much gave up on that. And when I looked at it after it was done, he had 6 assists.
Yeah,
Dennis Schroeder,
Cade's
this
a
one,
fucking dog. Fucking
yeah.
love Cade.
Dennis Schroeder, I wasn't thinking this one was going to look super good, but the Bulls and Raptors last week ended up going into overtime, and it worked out there. This was the craziest.
Alex Caruso, sorry to cut you off. I had the Raptors that game, which costed me about, I think, $230 because that game was just a scuttle fuck all the way until it went to overtime, and the Raptors are up, and then Caruso hit a game-winning three, so missed out on some good money there as well.
But this was the craziest one, over 16.5 rebounds, assists. It hit on the last play of the game because the Nets missed a shot and Doncic got the rebound with like 2 seconds left. So that one hit last week. That one was not bad. I'm trying to see where the other crazy one. Not that one. This one. This was the other good one that won previously. So this one was nice. Thursday night football seems to do okay for me. So we'll see how that goes.
What's up, noob? How you doing? Thank you for tuning in. But yeah, no, that game was absolutely abysmal. Like I was at work and I was watching the game tracker and it was like, oh, this team scored a 3, this team scored a 2. Oh, turnover. It was so bad. Like I should have cashed out and I had the option to, and I got greedy because I wanted like 20 more bucks. But it happens.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Can't
right
really.
Now, what I have for the Raptors 76ers game is looking pretty good at minus 110. I have Schroeder. It's the end of the first quarter, and I have Schroeder to get 5 assists. He has 3. Embiid to get 8 rebounds. He has 3. Embiid to score 20. He has 8. And then OG to score 10, and he already has 5. So
yeah, see, I've got one here on this one. Nice little 6-legger. I need Kelly Oubre Jr. to get 15, and he's already got 5 in the first, so it's looking on track there.
Kelly Oubre play tonight.
Yeah, I also got a couple of points here, and then I think the Suns are going to get revenge in this game from the previous one. Yep. But yeah, so that's all I got going on for NBA here.
Part of me is Jalen Duren playing. Do you know? For the Pistons.
He was out.
He was out last night. Oh, I don't see him on the injury report, actually.
He was listed as upgraded to available as of 7 minutes ago.
All right. So what we're going to do, Zion's resting tonight. I'm really thinking about the Pistons here, depending on if Ingram is still out. Yeah, he's still out. Zion's resting. Trey Murphy's out. GTA is out. I really like the Pistons tonight. That would be my underdog of the night, I would say, at plus 152.
It's not a heavy underdog, but that's okay.
Yeah. The Spurs are plus 330, but like you said, I think the Suns take care of that.
Yeah, I think they kind of get some revenge from like the previous game, crazy game.
Because they were up like 20 at one point, and then they just lost at the end.
Yeah, I mean, they basically blew it at the end. Excuse me. Another parlay I think might be good for tonight. It's only plus 539, but it's Devin Booker over 6.5 assists.
Oh, he's playing?
Yeah, as far as I'm aware. Yusuf Nurkic over 9.5 rebounds, and CJ McCollum 22.5 over points. And I think that's a pretty solid one, especially with Zion out. I mean, if you look at it, Booker had 8 assists in their first matchup against the Spurs.
Mhm.
Um, I like to think that Kevin Durant's probably going to be the one to go off tonight.
Yeah.
CJ McCollum, especially with Zion out, and I don't know if it's changed, but I think Brandon Ingram was questionable earlier.
Yeah, I think he's out as well.
Questionable, ruled out. Yeah, he's ruled out too. So that's looking pretty good tonight too. I feel like because somebody's got to score the points,
Yeah.
and then he's been on a tear of late. But Yusuf, 14, 9, 7, and 12 rebounds. I mean, is there anybody really else on that team that's going to be rebounding?
Probably not. I
You
mean,
know,
for that game, I have KD at 20 points, which I feel like is pretty safe. Um, Victor at 12, Victor at 5 rebounds, and then Nurkic at 8 boards. So we're basically along the same lines on there.
yeah, I mean Durant gets the rebounds too, but like Yusuf's going to be, he's going to be the rebound machine,
He's a
especially.
rebounding vacuum, I like to call him.
Yeah, he's averaging 10 and a half. So we'll see there. Um, yeah, I mean, just looking at their lineup, Yusuf is 10 and a half. Durant averages 7. Eubanks averages 6.3. Booker averages 6. Grayson Allen 5.3. Um, Goodwin 4.8. Josh Okugi, and I probably butchered the hell out of that.
I think it's a Kogi, but
Okugi, yeah,
you
I
were
mean at 4, and then nobody else is above 3. So, um,
I think I'm gonna
yeah,
take Pistons and Magic, by the way. Sorry, I'm just like letting my intrusive thoughts like fly. But on DraftKings, if you take the Pistons and the Magic, you get them at plus 367. So I might just throw 20 on that. Because I'm hearing tonight's gonna be a Franz Wagner night. My sources are telling me. So
that's not too bad. So, but yeah, that's all. That's all really the plays I feel like making tonight, and you know, I mean, we'll see. It's
yeah.
the NBA starting to stabilize a little bit. I mean, there's been um excuse me, man. I have been dealing with not sick, but just straight up been dealing with some congestion of late. Um,
Yeah.
just with the weather changing around there. But you know, I think the NBA is starting, like I said, starting to stabilize, and you're kind of seeing what the expectations are. Um, there still seems to be quite a decent amount of blowouts of late. So I don't know if, yeah, I don't really know. So, but that's all I got on the NBA tonight.
So I only have a little more for the NBA. Like I said, I always do like that same game parlay X. Um, so I read my 76ers game. I read the Spurs game. For the Pistons and Pelicans, I have Cade at 25 PRA. I have Jonas Valanciunas at 20 PRA. I have CJ McCollum at 20 PA. And then I have Ozar Thompson at 2 assists, which he's cleared in every game. So I think that's fine. And then for the Magic and Jazz, I have Paolo at 12 points, Clarkson at 10 points, Kessler at 5 boards, and Paolo at 5 boards as well.
Yeah, that's that's not. Oh, I don't know why that muted. Um, I think Paulo will have a bigger night too. Um, I don't think he'll be as minimal, but you know,
I'm just thinking about you muted again. I don't know if you meant to do that, but
yeah, I did that time.
oh, okay. Um, the Raptors are starting to look kind of better in a way. A lot better than I thought they were going to. They blew that game to the Bulls, but outside of that, like I'm pretty sure they beat the Bucks, right? By like a good amount. But the Bucks have also looked terrible.
Yeah, I mean, with it being as the trade as late as it was, I still think that they need to work on some meshing. Still at this time, personally. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think because I want to make another same game parlay X, but there's only like 3 games to do it with. So if you want to do that, we can do that real quick.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of thinking about some of these games here. This will cooperate with me here. Um, just looking at the schedule here. I mean, I think the Sun Spurs, I already got one there, but I think that's going to be a pretty good one um, to consider there.
Yeah.
I think Phoenix is going to be looking for some revenge. Like I've said multiple times, and I think it'll be a decently high scoring game. But I'm looking at the over under right now. I'm not sure what it is on your end on DraftKings or Caesars, but they're at over under 28 and a half. And, I think I might take the under in that one
For what?
for Sun Spurs.
28 and a half what?
Two, 228 and a half is the over under.
Oh, 228. I think it's 28 and a half, and I was like, I don't know what you're referring to, but 228 and a half, I think I would probably lean on the over on that one just because both teams don't really have great defenses, but they have pretty nice offenses. So that's where I would lean on that one. But
So, yeah, but just kind of giving a quick look at Sunday games here. Some of the ones that I think are going to be ones to watch out for. Dolphins, Chiefs. Both of them are getting off the plane, heading to Germany here. But I think you could have a nice high scoring game here. So without looking at the lines and stuff, I'm feeling comfortable taking a lot of the overs. Maybe some unders on some rushing, just because Chiefs have surprisingly have looked like a competent team on defense this year, compared to previous years.
yeah, I just did a first field goal basket parlay, just to give that a try. I don't know if you've ever done that before.
Nah, that's to me that one. Obviously, all of this is luck, but that first basket
Yeah,
picks those are too crazy to me personally.
but that being said, I went with Jalen Duren for the Pistons game because I think he's going to win the jump ball against Valanciunas, which automatically puts you into those 5 people, if assuming they don't miss a shot. And then I see you going right back to Duren, probably for a dunk or a layup. So I'm hoping with the Jazz game, I have Wendell Carter Jr. winning that tip off, and then I'll have Paolo scoring the first basket. And then for the Suns game, I'll have Victor winning the jump ball, and then Victor probably scoring the first basket too. And that's $2.50 to win 700. So that's just like a fun little one I like to do occasionally if I have some extra funds.
Yeah, that's not too bad. I did. It wasn't a first scorer one, but I did see. I have difficulty trying to find it again. Somebody did one for the Pacer Celtics game last night. They had I think it's Peyton Pritchard. I think that's the guy.
Oh, I saw that Peyton Pritchard parlay. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. You know, you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel there if you're going to guys like Peyton Pritchard.
I mean, I kind of see it though, because they were probably just expecting it to be a blowout, so they were expecting him to play more.
Yeah, I mean, I just found it again. It's over 7.5 assists, over 1.5 rebounds, over 9 points in rebounds, and Celtics minus 3.5. So 15 points, 9 assists, and 4 rebounds last night. and then obviously they blew out the Pacers. So yeah, I mean that's crazy. That's legitimately crazy.
Yeah. I would never expect Peyton Pritchard to put up 8 assists though, because he's more of like just a scorer. But
true, but somebody's got to have something, I guess, when you get to those big blowouts there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to think of one more parlay I want to do. You know what I kind of do like? Steelers defense to score a touchdown at plus 600. I'm not going to do it because I'll never bet on a defense to score a touchdown in a game. But in case anyone does like to do that, I feel like that holds pretty good value, especially against a rookie quarterback with that good Steelers defense.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be going for a dart throw tonight, that's probably a good solid one to look at there, because like we've seen, it's just a matter of seeing how things go. And I mean, Levis had a really great game, but this is, his first prime time game.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. So
Treylon Burks to score a touchdown plus 550 is also kind of tempting, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I just hate to say it, but he's been like so disappointed this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, partially injuries, but I drafted him in a few leagues, and he was, extremely hyped, and just really hasn't done much.
I don't even know what else to. I'm trying to think. I'm just tracking my one that I have now. Dennis Schroeder's up to 4, so I just need one more from him. I need 5 Embiid boards, 12 Embiid points, and 3 OG points. So that should hit.
Yeah.
Easily.
Aubrey Jr. hasn't scored any in this quarter, so
yeah,
that's cool. I mean, I only need a couple points in this quarter for it to be, continuing to be on track. But I gotta say, we got college basketball coming up next week on Monday. We got some games on Monday here.
That I'm excited for, especially as a Duke fan. I'm very, very excited for this season.
Yeah, Duke can go to hell. But you got like big matchups like Spalding and IUPUI on Monday. Man, gonna look so good. But no, there are some decently good matchups. I mean, I'm just scrolling through here, looking at some of these games. Okay, maybe not so much on Monday, but I know definitely Tuesday's got some really good matchups coming up. Just shout out to our boy James, who used to do some work with Indiana State. They play St. Mary's of the Woods tomorrow, which is I believe St. Mary's of the Woods is a D3 school, and it's in the Terre Haute area, so they don't have to go too far for that shellacking. But yeah, I think they are D3. Just again looking through some more of these. I mean, Princeton Rutgers, that might be a pretty solid game. I mean, Princeton's coming off the big upset round 1 against Arizona last year. I'm not sure who they lost or kept. And then Rutgers has had some good recruiting classes come in, but that might be a real interesting one. I am really curious to see on Monday with Louisville losing to the D2 team in the exhibition game. They play UMBC. I'm real interested to see how that game is going to go, not necessarily because I'm interested in Louisville basketball, but just how far is it going to fall before they get rid of the coach.
Yeah.
Iona Charleston might be a solid game tomorrow. Merrimack, Vermont. Merrimack's looked good coming up from D2. I think this might be the first year they're eligible for the tournament, and then Vermont, of course, is Vermont, dominant in the American East Conference. No, like, and again, I must have been incorrect because I thought there were some decent games on Monday, like ranked versus ranked. But, just scrolling through here does not look to be the case. There are a ton of games on Monday, though.
Gotcha.
I think the big ones I think are on Tuesday. Of course, got IU playing next Tuesday, so shout out to my alma mater there. They play Florida Gulf Coast. I think maybe it was the following week. I thought that the Champions Classic was this week, or the first week, but it's looking like it may not be this first week. I mean, next Friday, November 10th, you do have Arizona versus Duke, top 10 or top 15 matchup at Cameron Indoor Stadium. That'll be a real interesting one to see.
That'll be fun. Duke money line, baby.
There is no line right now, but I'm sure there'll be a line next week at some point. Going through the rest of the weekend. It seems like the first big day of games. The first one with multiple top 25 matchups is November 14th, Tuesday, November 14th. You got Duke and Michigan State in the first game of the Champions Classic at the United Center. Then you've got Marquette and Illinois tipping off in Champaign. That's a top 25 matchup. And you got Kansas and Kentucky in the other top 25 matchup on that day and the second game of the Champions Classic. So first week, not so much, but the second week's going to have some real marquee matchups coming up.
Yeah, I just checked. They don't have anything for Tuesday yet on DraftKings either, so
that doesn't surprise me, to be honest. So
yeah,
but
too far out.
Nice quick little jaunt here. For the people watching out there, please gamble responsibly. Don't bet more than you can afford. Any final thoughts on even the first week of the NBA? How you think betting's going to turn out? What are some things you think?
I think that for some reason, back to back, like when teams play back to back, I know it's the beginning of the season, so legs are still fresh and bodies are still fresh, but it's not affecting teams the way that I think it's going to. And it's like usually when you're on the second night of a back to back, you're supposed to be shot, so like you don't play as good. So usually I'll look for other players that didn't play as much the first day or like bet like that. But it just seems like teams that play on the second night of a back-to-back are doing very well. And like I said, I think it's due to still being the beginning of the season. So don't weigh that just yet. But once it starts to get like a couple weeks into the season, definitely start taking those back-to-backs into consideration when deciding on that. Like you said, betting's becoming a lot more like predictable for the NBA. Like things are settling down and you're seeing how like teams play.
Right.
I would hold off on betting on the 76ers and the Clippers just for a couple more games just to see how James Harden fits in that Clipper system, how all the new additions, like mainly on the 76ers because they have so many new additions that they have to like work in and things like that. And they might not be done. They might be trading for Zach LaVine. They might be trading for Donovan Mitchell. There was rumors about those, but I would hold off on those teams for now. But that's really my final thoughts. You got any or?
Nope. I'm just excited to continue to see how these games go and then potentially get into some matchups here. So for those watching out there, we always appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully some picks help you win some money. And for that, we sign off.
And make sure to come check us out at 9 o'clock or 9:05 on The Bounce with me, James, and Kev. So thank you guys for watching. Take care.